But it certainly was different, because if I had stayed sighted, if I'd never lost my sight, I would have married a farmer, and I probably would have had a dozen kids, and lived happily ever after, right?
Right.
So when I lost my sight, I could no longer do this, and nobody really would want to marry me because I was blind. In those days, they probably thought I was helpless.
Yeah.
And
had you had a boyfriend by then?
no, no. There was one guy wrote me from Holland, and my dad wouldn't even let me read the letters. So
is that right? What grade were you in at that point then?
Well, you see, I wasn't at school anymore.
You weren't at school?
No, because we immigrated to Canada, and I was not going to go back to school.
Yeah.
But so, thank goodness, once I lost my sight, we were quite closely connected with. I'm Catholic, and there were some Dutch priests that were often kind of keeping an eye on some of the immigrants. And of course, they were kind of notified about my accident, and they kind of came and helped and kind of soothed my parents and kind of also, you know, being nice to me.
Sure.
And so they suggested that I should first of all, I was connected with the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, which was in London, Ontario, which was about a 35, I talk about miles, 35 miles, 45 kilometers, 50, from where I lived. And so I went, I got out of the hospital in December, and then I think about the following summer, I was connected with the CNIB in London, and then they suggested I'd come into the CNIB to learn Braille. They would go to the dance, there was some dancing and for Dutch people, and they would say, "But you got to take Mary," and of course I had to go along. And I remember, I guess they didn't all realize I was blind, so the guy would pick me up, would invite me to dance, and I would dance, and then he was like a farmer, and he would just leave me in the middle of the floor.